industry, well, since 1990 when I moved to New York. Before that, I took tailoring and apparel merchandising classes at college in Indiana. You know, I wanted to be a designer when I was growing up, but I could look at my own work and say, oh, you know, I'm not that kind of creative person. But I took tailoring classes and pattern drafting and all of that so I can appreciate the craft of fashion. And for me, that's what, you know, that's what's much more interesting as opposed to the status that a bag can give you, the status that going to the right party can give you. That to me is much less important. It's the craft of making something beautiful, of designing something beautiful, of color, pattern, texture, mixing of genres, proportion. You know, when someone's doing that really well, to me that's much more exciting than the things that supposedly go on with it. My passion for photography, and it's really photography, not so much fashion photography. When I was growing up, my dad did a lot of directing and film directing, but it was always industrial films. So I would go on the set and watch him creating a commercial or a sales training video about how to sell a TV or something. So I'd go to sets when I was a kid and think, oh my God, this is incredibly boring. So I really had no interest in doing that when I was growing up. But you know, over the years of looking at GQ and Vogue and all, I think I became aware of fashion photography, and I knew who the players were. I knew the difference between Irving Penn and Mizell and Bruce Weber and, you know, historical figures. So I had an appreciation for it, but I never found anything I wanted to shoot until I had my own children. And then, of course, you want to take pictures of them all the time. I like to shoot, you know, I like being outside. I like playing with natural light. I like walking around. If I'm seeing something great, if I'm not, I go shopping or whatever. It's a great lifestyle. I love the lifestyle. And somehow it's just worked out that I've been able to make a career out of it. I got into blogging really, you know, kind of by chance. You know, I was familiar with blogs. When I started my blog, blogs were around and they were making news, but nobody was making money on it. And they were very text-heavy blogs. They weren't really visual blogs like what I was doing. And, but you know, I was able to look at this. I had seen a blog that I liked. It was an interior design blog. And I started looking through and I thought it was so cool, you know, that she was able to put these comments up and she'd put a few pictures up. It was in interior design and she'd talk about a product and she would get like 30 comments. And I thought that interaction with this audience was great. But you know, she put pictures up and they were nice pictures, but the photographs weren't really the focus of that blog. But you know, I'm just one of those kind of people, when I see something interesting, start clicking all the buttons. And for some reason, it just occurred to me that, you know, I didn't have to write very much text. I could put photographs up there, and if I could figure out how to make them larger, make them more dramatic, that just sharing those photographs could really be something kind of cool. It's just a photograph. People can enjoy that photograph and relate to it, whether you're in China, whether you're in India, whether you're in Africa, wherever. Photograph's a photograph. You don't feel like you're missing out on anything. And so since it was free, there was really no barrier to entry. And my only challenge was really, since I was starting to become pretty good at photography, take that next step and try and figure out how to shoot what I saw that I liked, try and capture it in the romantic way that I saw it. I wasn't trying to report, you know, and from the very beginning, I never said, you know, what that brand was, rarely say who the person is, rarely say you've got to have those shoes. For me, it was about just an image that inspired me. Well, the difference between street fashion and what designers create is, you know, not a huge amount. You know, it's a big circle, and one influences the other. You know, in both ways. You know, I've done a lot of interviews lately, and people say, well, you know, the street is the new fashion, and that's ruling fashion. You know, I don't think it is. I mean, it's always been that way. Nothing has changed. You know, designers still look at the street for inspiration. People from everyday people look to designers for point of view. Everything has remained the same. So nothing's changed in the human way that we interact and that we're inspired. We're just capturing it in a better way and sharing it in a better way. My favorite cities to shoot, it's all of them, because each one's so different. And you allow that city to be what it is. So, someplace like Milan here, I've loved shooting here the last couple of days. I mean, unfortunately, the daylight is so short, but the sun's very low in the sky, and there's such a misty fog here all the time. If you're lucky enough to have a day with sun and that mist and that fog, the city glows unlike any other city. So not only do I like the style here in Milan, but at the right times of year, actually shooting just from a photographic standpoint is beautiful. I love it. But at the same time, Paris, has these beautiful backgrounds, these beautiful buildings, everything's so scrubbed and cleaned and washed. New York, has a grittier, tougher feel. I was just in Rio a couple of days before this, and they have it's middle of the summer there, so they have a different kind of humidity issue, and when the light's coming down, everything's yellow and beautiful. So for me, anywhere I am, anywhere I find a picture, I'm happy to shoot. My challenge for myself is to start going to new places and not just typical fashion capitals. I want to go to Rajasthan, I want to go to Peru or Buenos Aires, or places that are known for having a unique national costume. For me, it's really about going to those different places. I'll be very happy if I can look back at a catalog of my work 40 years from now and see a real wide snapshot of people at this time, not just fashion editors, but fashion editors, everyday people, rich people, poor people, Asian, white, black, whatever. There's nothing really specific thing that makes an outfit captivating, because it's abstract. I'm shooting in an abstract way. Sometimes I love the outfit specifically the way it is. Sometimes I don't like the way it fits at all, but it's about the color combination. Maybe it's this mixing of genre, maybe it's whatever. That's the hard part. Several people that you see season after season on the blog, and that's because, honestly, they're someone that I'm always kind of captivated by. I'm always curious what they're wearing each season, what they're wearing each day. And, but by the same time, and a lot of people say, oh, you shoot the same people. Well, if you actually look at the blog, a lot of people I've shot a lot for one season and then not at all the next season, and then maybe a year later, and I mean, that's an honesty that I feel very good about. I mean, Anna Della Russo is just such a character, she's so charming and funny and always evolving her style, and she really has a real love and a real passion for style and for fashion and design. This season she's had her hair down and it's wavy and it's a whole new Anna Della Russo. So I love someone like that. I love someone that's just has fun with fashion, doesn't take herself seriously. Today we were shooting her and they're jumping up and down, they're just having fun, but that fun, that passion comes through in the pages. That charm comes through in the pages of their magazine. Doing a book is a dream, that's what you want to do, to hold photographs. One of the things I realized is, when I was working on the books, the first time I've held a lot of these photographs. I take them digitally, I put them on the internet, and a lot of these I've never held in my hands. So having this book actually gave me a chance to hold some of these photographs. Just the relationship with these images is different when you're holding them. I think a lot of other people felt that same way. I mean, luckily the book's going great, and it's only been out 4 months, and it's in its 5th printing now. And I accomplished just what I wanted to with that. I didn't want a big coffee table book that was going to be too expensive. I wanted something people could pick up, flip through. He was just ripping the pages out and putting them up on the wall and getting his inspiration that way, doing a montage or whatever. And that's what I wanted. I love fashion, so for me it's something that influence and what it means to me can be two totally different things. I love Dries Van Noten. I think he's brilliant in terms of true design, color and pattern, texture, proportion, all that stuff that I talk about. You still have to respect people, Balenciaga and Lanvin and, Marc Jacobs. I think Marc Jacobs is genius. He'll end up becoming the most important designer America has ever produced. For what he means for men's and women's, Tom Ford is close, but I don't think he's done it quite to that level that Marc has done now, not only head-to-head, for the same amount of years, but Mark has also been able to do it at a super high level between Louis Vuitton, signature Marc Jacobs, but also to be able to do Mark by Mark and to have a whole store full of little cheap accessories that are fun and has made it so open to so many people.